What's up, Kansas City? I'm Serenity, and today we have guest poet Tyree Thomas, aka Inspired. How
Hello.
are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
How did you come up with the name Inspired? I guess a little background on that.
Well, for about 2 years, I was already performing in the spoken word scene, and I had a dream. I had a dream that my poetry was definitely destined for inspiration, and that my form of writing was supposed to take a different type of path. And I found that from me writing my poetry, it was always inspired from me, getting into my word, from me going to church, from me constantly praying and meditating. And from there, that's when I woke up one morning and I said, my name is supposed to be inspired because my poetry inspires others, and people are always inspired by my works.
Okay, that's a good reason. So how long have you been doing poetry?
I've been doing poetry since 2010, so that will make it officially 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So have you always wrote all your life, or you just started writing? Something happened. Like, how exactly did you get into writing?
It was an accident. It was definitely an accident. I was always great at writing essays, great at doing my schoolwork. I always read a lot of books. I was a bookworm, but I never wrote poetry. I didn't read poetry, but one day I was a sophomore in college at Alabama State University, and I got to see my fellow soror Nikki Giovanni perform live, and it inspired me. And from there I began to go to different poetry readings, but I didn't actually start writing until 2010, and during that time it was actually because of a man.
Oh. So you started with some love poems.
I started off with a love hate man hate poem.
Oh, okay. So where did you get your start at?
I got my start here in Kansas City, my hometown.
You live? Is that where you started at, or was there a different? Where exactly did you start doing poetry at? The Blue Room, or?
My first stage that I ever hit was the Blue Room Jazz Poetry Jams. First time I ever performed, and the night that I performed was the night that Queen Goddess was our feature.
Okay. All right. So what are some projects you're working on right now?
Well, right now, I'm currently working on a poets collective with my fellow poet in rhyme, Miss M'Vyonne Payne, and the name of our collective is called Time Equals Eloquence.
Oh,
Tyree
okay.
and M'Vyonne equals eloquence. In addition to that, we're currently actively working on touring. Got a couple of shows set up in Nebraska at a couple of colleges in February, but most certainly, I have a huge feature coming up this Sunday with Poetic Notes at the Blue Room. The show starts at 6 p.m. It's open to audiences from 18 and up, and there's a $5 cover. But the reason why this feature is so important to me is because the first venue that ever gave me my own personal feature spot was Poetic Notes.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Who would you say inspires you locally and nationally as far as poetry?
I would have to say locally. Locally, all of the artists inspired me. Because when I was an up and coming artist and I was brand new on the scene, there was a lot of artists out there who actually sat down and had writing sessions with me, who critiqued my works for me, who always encouraged me to keep coming back and keep sharing my thoughts, and don't be afraid to say what you gotta say. But nationally, I would have to say the poet that inspires me nationally would have to be Dana Gilmore, my mentor. She was the person who encouraged me to actually bring my work to the stage and perform in front of people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that's I struggle with that quite a bit, and I know that's a good thing in Kansas City. We gotta have that family vibe going, where everybody encourages everybody.
Definitely, if you're gonna support, you definitely need to support your hometown, as well as support the national artists. If you don't support your hometown, what do you have as your foundation?
Right. So, what would you give advice to someone who is a younger poet, or maybe someone who's older, who's starting into doing spoken word as opposed to just writing in general, like performance-wise? Because I know you have won a few slams, so you are a slam poet.
Yes.
So, what pointers would you give to somebody who's new to the poetry game? guess you could say?
Just know that you need to continue to write. Don't give up. And learn to realize that it's about you conveying that energy to the crowd, about you saving somebody's life that night. It don't matter if it's a poem about erotica. It don't matter if it's a poem about politics or current events or God. You just got to make sure that you inspire somebody that night and know that you are invisible. It's about your work.
Okay. So you say you have a feature coming up.
Yes.
And then any other projects you're working on?
Well, in addition to that, I will be participating as well as competing to be on one of Kansas City's second slam teams that will be going to nationals in the year 2015, which is sponsored by ULIT Urban Literation, Mind Elevation through Spoken Word and Poetry, as well as Stanza Life.
Okay. How would somebody get in contact with you?
They can always reach me on my Twitter page, I Inspire Life, INSPYRELIFE @twitter.com, or they can reach me on Facebook. My Facebook is www.facebook.com/Tyree the Poetess, or just Google Inspire. You can find me.
Thanks for your time, Tyree.
You're welcome.
And I'm signing off, reminding you to spit your piece.
I'm IFBB Bikini Pro Cat Williams, and when I'm not working out in the gym, I'm searching the web on Cascade Media and What's Up Kansas City. So make sure you check them out.